Right, let's talk about some of the big news and rumours away from the Euros. Starting, of course, with your former club. What's happening?
Yes, Michael Essien looks to be on his way to Bayern Munich. I think that's done. I did reach out to one of my sources, I'm going to say sources, at Crystal Palace, who says they have a replacement in mind and potentially could be better than Michael Essien.
Wow.
in the long run. So it'll be interesting. Look,
the Essien partnership's over though. That's sad.
Yeah, it is
That's
over.
Sad.
It's right. This move here for me is right for everyone concerned, I feel. Look, he had a £60 million release clause. I was led to believe it was only Champions League sides that could release that, which Bayern Munich are. So it's I think Reading get about £7-8 million of that,
really?
Which is brilliant for them. They need
yeah.
that. That's outstanding for them. And he's not staying in the Premier League, which I think Crystal Palace supporters, although they'll be disappointed with him moving on, I think it's a bonus that it's not in the Premier League. You won't be coming up against them next season. So, look, I would have loved to have seen him stay another year, learn a little bit more of his trade. But you know what football's like when these big giants of clubs come calling, and he's good enough. He's good enough to play in the Champions League. And look, they've got to try and keep hold of Eze now. He's going to have suitors. He's going to have interest. Of course, he is. He's an outstanding player. But if you're a Crystal Palace supporter, I think that's enough. Essien, and if you've got a replacement, and look, you have to trust Dougie Freedman and the powers that be. He's got an eye for a player, Dougie Freedman. Adam Wharton, 18 million. Yeah. Come on, Eze.
He's not done too bad, has he?
Eze was what, 20-odd million?
I think the recruitment of Palace has been pretty good of recent time.
16 to 18 million, I think Essien wrong. I could be wrong. It might have been lower than that. But to walk away with essentially 50 million after the Reading get their sum, it's good business. It's disappointing, but it's good business. And he'll do well, Essien.
Another one of your former teammates, Craig Bellamy. He's reportedly a contender to be the new Wells manager after the letting go of Rob Page. What do you make of that? I think he's the man for the job, personally.
Yes, I agree. I played with Craig at Newcastle, and he was a fiery character, to say the least. It was...
But you don't threaten someone with a club.
Sometimes, as a young player, it was sometimes difficult to play with him because he demanded the very, very best. And I can only see that.
Have you had much contact with him in recent years?
No, none
okay,
because
I think he's probably the type of individual that's really grown.
Yeah, it looks that way. Look, he's had his demons. We know that. And as you said, the situation with Risa and Liverpool and other things that's happened. But he was a fiery character, and he really was. And sometimes...
He was a winner.
If I gave the ball away, I'd be thinking, oh my God. But I can see it now that he's a winner, demanded the very, very best. And if he didn't think he was a good enough player, he wouldn't have been moaning at you anyway. So I can see that now. I'm away from it. I think this job is crying out for Craig Bellamy. I really do. To go in there, he's clearly done a good job alongside Vincent Kompany as well. And there was a chance that he was going to go out to Bayern Munich as his number 2 there. He decided against that, looking like he was going to take the Burnley job. But this one has come about, and he's a proud Welshman. That's one thing you can say about Craig Bellamy. And his knowledge of the game is fantastic, and I think he'd do a great job if he got given the opportunity.
Well, Craig Bellamy and your former club, Newcastle, are reportedly closing in on signing Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, with the Toffees reportedly holding out for 25 mil. Newcastle are also considering selling Callum Wilson. Now, I don't understand that personally as a football fan, not a Newcastle fan. Like, both of them are injured quite a lot. Both quite similar-ish players, I would say. Or would you disagree with that in terms of, like, what, you know, they're good at bullying, good in the air?
I think Callum Wilson offers you a little bit more than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think in terms of...
Do you know what? I'd agree with that.
Yeah, like the pace that he can have going in behind. He can hold it up. He's good in the air as well. Calvert-Lewin's probably a little bit better in the air. He's a lot taller. But I really like Callum Wilson. He's an out-and-out goal scorer. But the argument is, as you've said, with both of these, they can't stay fit. And 25 million in the grand scheme of things, and it's crazy to say in today's current climate, but it's not that much for a centre forward.
Yeah, and to
nowadays.
be fair, if they're going to keep hold of Isaac, then it's not a problem.
Absolutely. So
Isaac's the main man, isn't he?
If you can keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin fit, yes, he will offer you something. And as you said, with Isak there as well, and you only have to put crosses in, and he's going to get on the end of them.
I wonder where Callum Wilson would go.
Yeah, I was thinking this when I see the story come out, and I really don't know. I think there'll be suitors for sure in the Premier League. I I think a Crystal Palace, a team like Crystal Palace could do with something. He's 32, so he's not getting any younger.
No.
So the next move is probably his final move, but he may decide to go abroad.
How about this one? Ivan Toney moves to somewhere in the Premier League. He goes to Brentford.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah. But look, Saudi Arabia will be sniffing around, I'm sure.
A lot of money there for sure. West Ham and Newcastle have had bids for Wolves centre-backs. Max Kilman rejected. West Ham bid 25 million, while Newcastle offered midfielder Elliot Anderson plus an undisclosed fee. Wolves are believed to be willing to consider offers in excess of 45 mil. Now, I think that's not a bad price, to be fair.
I really like Max Kilman.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he's a great defender, first and foremost. I think he's technically good as well. So yeah, doesn't surprise me that clubs are going to be asking for him. What was the price? Did you say there?
45 mil is what they want.
I mean, it's crazy to say that you're just brandishing around figures like 45 million and saying actually that's not bad, but that's the way football is at the moment. So, I mean, I'd take him at Spurs. Take him at Spurs, 45 million. I mean, Levy will probably offer him I don't know, 2 million a bag of crisps or something. But
27, 45 mil.
Is that how old he is?
Yeah.
I thought he was younger than that.
No, so did I. Only when I just looked up.
Yeah, honestly, I thought he was younger than that. But look, he's a good player. 45 million. You're probably getting a good 4 or 5 years out of him.
The one thing you can guarantee when you bring in someone like that is that he knows the Premier League.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams, sometimes you gamble on the European kind. Takes them a season to adjust. We've seen it even with Spurs, with a few of the players that we brought in when we had the likes of Sarr and people like that.
Yeah.
It's taken them a season, maybe a season and a half to sort of get with the pace of the Premier League. So
he's almost ever present. Last 2 seasons, he's missed 1 Premier League game, so he stays fit.
This is interesting as well. Juventus said they have a recent agreement with Aston Villa over a deal for Douglas Luiz. The signing of the 23-year-old midfielder will see Juve's Enzo Baranchi, and I'm probably saying this all wrong, by the way, and Samuel Illing Jr. move in the opposite direction to Villa Park. Juventus are reported to be paying around 50 million euros for Luiz, while the club said they will receive 22 million euros from Villa for the 2 players going the other way, plus a further 3 million euros linked to bonuses. What do you make of that?
I mean, you're getting 2 players for the 1 and some finances as well. It's a strange one because I really like him as a player, Douglas Luiz. I thought
he was really settled at Villa.
Yeah, he looks settled. He's a goal scorer as well, and he scores important goals and he digs them out of holes sometimes. But look, if a player, it seems in this case, might be looking to get away from Aston Villa, and if you're going to get a couple of good players coming back, then yeah, why not?
Absolutely. What disappoints me in all of this latest news and transfer rumours is I can't see anything about Spurs.
Yeah, it's frustrating, and I wake up every morning, look at the rumour mill and stuff, and see, are we linked with anyone? No, we're not linked with anyone. Conor Gallagher every now and then comes into mind, and I know the Same Old Spurs podcast put that out the other day, and a lot of the replies, and correct me if I'm wrong, were kind of against it, really.
You mentioned the Same Old Spurs podcast. Gaza, Anthony, who I do it with, he has likened Conor Gallagher to the Harry Winks. Yeah. He says this is a £60 million Harry Winks. I don't know.
Is he much better than Højbjerg? I don't think so.
Do you know what? Højbjerg the other night against England was phenomenal.
I agree.
And I see that in him, the leader that's in him. And he plays a little further up for Denmark, and I think he's really good there.
He gets a lot of stick. He has got a lot of stick for
unnecessary
Spurs.
Stick for me. I love him.
I think he's a good player, and I think he performs when he needs to. He's passionate as well. We've seen some of the celebrations when he clears one off the line. He loves it, and like you said, they play him a little bit further forward, and I think that could suit him quite well. Another one, look, Eze. I know I'm associated with Palace, but there's an opportunity to get him at Spurs.
For me, that's the dream.
Sensational.
Like, if we're going to play football the way Ange wants to play it, you need people on those wings that aren't afraid.
Agreed.
And I love Doku, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'd even say?
Go on.
Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Like someone who's just not afraid. Imagine him linking up with Maddison, right? And just the connection and the chemistry there, right? And also, you look how well Arsenal have done over the recent seasons, yeah? When they brought Zinchenko and Jesus from Manchester City, for me, that was a real pivotal turning point in this sort of process that we've been talking about, because they've gone and bought proven winners from the Premier League. Now, I think Jack Grealish has won a treble at Manchester City. He's done it all. Proven winner. Got a bit about him. He's not going to play much now because of Doku.
Yeah. I tell you what, you have Jack Grealish and Maddison in the same team. Our kit will be sponsored by Louis Vuitton or something.
O Beach. They'll all be wearing that O Beach.
Pre-season trip at O Beach.
Yeah. Wayne will ring and say, "Big Hand, can we change the kit colour to orange?"
I agree, though. Spurs need players, and it's frustrating waking up every day and not seeing anyone linked.
Spursy.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?